Time for the master. Show no mercy.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, so you want to know how to make your Jing Yuan do that much damage? I got you. Now, I'll be showing you everything on my very free to play account and I'll be covering his light cones, relics, and his team comps that you can use to do that much damage. I did clear up till World 6 using level 50s with very mediocre relics, so you guys should be able to do it too. Now, a lot of people misunderstand how Jing Yuan's kit works. Remember that his Lightning Lord, Larry, is the one doing most of the damage. Now, there are certain things you can do to make it do more damage, which we'll be covering later. Now, I do put a lot of my time into these videos and making them well so you guys understand. So any type of support would be greatly appreciated because it is something I love doing. So hopefully I can keep making content for you guys that helps for a while. Now, moving on to his light cones. So, of course, before we talk about any light cone, let's get the elephant out of the room. We have Before Dawn. So, Before Dawn, why is it so good on him? Increases the wearer's crit damage by 36%, increases the wearer's skill and ultimate damage by 18%. After the wearer uses their skill or ultimate, they gain Somnus Corpus. Upon triggering a follow-up attack, Somnus Corpus will be consumed and the follow-up attack damage increases by 48%. Now, you can imagine on him, his Lightning Lord is the follow-up attack, which is most of his damage, which I'll show you guys later on, how you can get the maximum value from it. This is why this is just his best light cone. There's nothing to compete with it. But again, I will give you another great free-to-play option, which is the Seriousness of Breakfast. This is a really nice free-to-play 4-star light cone, and it is pretty accessible to everyone. And what it does is increases the wearer's damage by 12% for every defeated enemy. The wearer attacks increases by 4%, stacking up to 3 times, so 12% in total. Now, most bosses will summon enemies, so this is really good. It can be used in boss fights. Now, one honorable mention that I found while I was doing some research on this is, I believe it's called On the Night of Milky Way, something like that. Anyways, I think it's Himiko's light cone. It's a 5-star, so it's hard to get, but some people were saying it's decent on them. Now, I won't go into depth with what that does, but if you do have the option to pick between that one or the Seriousness of Breakfast, I would recommend you do some testing. But again, if it was me, I would just max out the Seriousness of Breakfast. Now, before we move on to relics, I wanted to talk about today is another peaceful day, which is another nice light cone for him. But the problem is it is a battle pass light cone, so you know, if you want it, you will have to buy the battle pass. That's why I didn't mention it earlier. I wanted to give you one pay to win option and one normal option, but if that's something you'd want, I recommend you look into it. Now, time for his relics. His relics are very simple. He really has 2 viable sets, I would say. This is what I'm rocking right now. So it's called Band of Sizzling Thunder, and you know, you get these relics from the Cavern of Corrosions. And you want to make sure that you're not farming relics until you have the legendary ones. I would say, like, just honestly, any like just all right purple gear that, you know, has all right stats is fine. If you want me to make a gear one more detailed video later, I could do that. But for now, Band of Sizzling Thunder or the Musketeer set also works really well. Like, you could do a 2 Band of Sizzling Thunders and 2 Musketeers. That gives you some attack percentage, lightning damage, and attack damage, right? So that's really good. Other than that, for the smaller relics over here, you want to go Inert Solado. That's really good right here, Solado's Moving City. Or you can also go the Space Station, pretty sure. That one is also pretty good right here. But I personally am probably just going to go Inert Solado. And you get these by going to this book over here, clicking on Cavern of Corrosion, and it's right here for anyone wondering. Alright, now let's move on to his team comps. So he has a couple team comps, but one thing you will notice is that you're going to have Tengen on your team because she's pretty much like the bread and butter that makes him how good he is. Like without her, you really won't get the maximum potential for him. So some comps you could run, which is actually, this is my main team. This is what I'm running right now. So I have Japard in the first slot. And he could also be replaced by the flame version of the main character. He's also, or she, if you pick the girl, is a really good like defense character for shielding and stuff. And then, you have Jing Yuan, and you want him right next to the tank because when the tank gets hit a bit, he does get some ulti like points, which makes him ult more, which is nice. And then of course you have Tengen, and then you have the healer. The healer could be both Natasha and Bailu. Like if you don't have Bailu, Natasha is honestly an amazing pick. And if you want to go for a more like, let's say like more damage heavy team, you could even abandon Natasha and go Tengen and like Bronya. Now I don't have Bronya yet, so I haven't really tested it. Some other comps I was testing was this comp right here. Instead of having a tank to tank damage, you have Welt and just keep taking away their turn, which is really nice. But the thing is, it's very situational. Like this comp is much harder to get, in the harder content, which I am moving to now. Like World 6, I was not able to run this team. Like this is the team I actually cleared World 6 with. I also cleared it with Clara here. Instead of them, you gotta go Abundance, which I'm gonna be talking about later in the video about, the worlds, because honestly, Jing Yuan is a fucking clearing demon, which we'll explain later. But for now, these are, I would say, his best comps. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Simulated Universe. So as you can see, I did clear up to World 6, which did take me a bit. But there are certain ways you can play him, which makes it insane. Like, it's more just continuous moves, you know what I mean? Like, you guarantee have it, but just the same thing over and over again. So, anything below level 4, I honestly think you can just get away with Elation. Like, let me know what you guys use, but Elation is crazy on this guy. Like, the follow-up attack damage, all the Elation buffs go crazy hard on him. Like, Lightning Lord hits like a truck, right? And what you're gonna be wanting to do is pick all the elation like attributes whenever you get them. The only time I would say not to take elation is if it's like, oh, when you do a follow-up attack, heal, this much. You don't really want healing, you want that damage, right? So if you have another attribute from like, let's say the hunt, that's offering you 20% crit or like 17% attack, I would pick that over that. And then, of course, when you get to World 5, it's going to look a bit different. You're going to want to take Abundance, and you want to make sure that when you are doing everything, that you're taking everything Abundance. Other than that, if you re-roll and you don't get any Abundance, obviously try to take Elation because it'll buff his damage. And you should be able to clear World 5 or 6. If you want a more like detailed run-through and me actually doing it, I can show you guys that. But other than that, that's all there is to it. But one other thing I wanted to make sure is, I'm not sure if you guys know, when you go into a match with Jing Yuan, you will have 3 stacks of his Lightning Lord already. Now if you use his E before you go into the match, then you will have 6 stacks, which is much better because then it's almost guaranteeing you a 10 stack Lightning Lord hit, right? So to make sure you're doing that. But other than that, the only thing left to talk about is Jing Yuan's future in the game. Like, there is a chance you will get Power Crypt because, more damage dealing characters will come out. But I think he has a great role in the game because you'll always be able to farm with him because of his amazing clear speed. So he's a great character, I would say, to invest in. And, who are you, like, excited for? Like, me personally, of course, I'm really excited for Blade, Kafka, right? But really Blade, like, I'm gonna be trying to build a team around him, but then again, I'll probably go for 1 copy of every character. Like, I'll make the videos when I summon for you guys. Right now I have a lot saved up. Like, how much is this? 52. So yeah, 52 plus the 15, right? So I have a decent amount. So yeah, let me know who you're excited for, and let me know if you guys need help with anything. Just comment down below. I'm glad to help. I'll try my best, and until the next video, have a great day, guys.